Hello, beautiful people. Thank you so much for tuning in to an all new episode of Point of View. Before we jump into today's topics, we want to give our guest co-host Danielle a warm welcome back to the table. Hey, girl.
Hey.
Hey, you real regular here now.
I know.
Still special though, still special. Coming up on today's show, Tennessee lawmakers are pushing a bill to teach students that success means getting an education, a job, and married before having kids, and in that order. Plus, Damon Wayans Sr. admits that he fell in love with his nephew's ex. And ladies, don't miss Girlfriend's Guide, Mind, Body, and Soul, coming up later in the show. So come on in, join the discussion. You're watching POV. All right, so here's a bit of what's going on in Tennessee. Lawmakers are trying to pass a bill that would teach kids a success sequence in school. That means finishing school, getting a job, or going to college, getting married, and then having kids, like a step-by-step guide to avoid poverty. Some say it's giving students the structure and the tools they might not be getting at home, but others are arguing that it's tone deaf and pushes a narrow idea of what success should look like, especially for kids from single-parent homes. How do we feel about this?
I find it interesting that they said to avoid poverty, they gave you this sequence, but they never said to own a home. I wonder why. Is it because the way the economy is going right now, so no one should really at this point think that that's a possibility? So where are you going to put the kids? Where are you going to put the family? Usually that was like the American dream, right? Yeah. To own a home.
White picket fence.
Yeah. But they selectively left that out. So I wonder what's the plan in that.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I wonder, that is a great observation. Where my mind is going is maybe the motivation was that, people are already single, young, old, married, or whatnot. The focus is already to get a home, and the focus is no longer on marriage as much, and it's no longer on jobs as well. Everything is digital, everything is online, and so I think maybe they're trying to put the focus back on that. Maybe they didn't mean to omit.
Maybe not. I just feel they really did. It seemed like it was very selective because usually that would be the American dream. That would be that's what you shoot for. You shoot for having the education, the family, the kids, the home, the wife, the husband, the home. But that was left out. You have the job. So
I'm not mad at it, but I feel like the part about the single, for single kids with single parents or whatever, you can still be successful and have all those things being raised by a single parent, first of all.
For sure.
And two, I think the fact that it's a bill is kind of crazy because it should not say that it should be taught, but I feel like you kind of want to do that. You want to be able to explore life, have money, be able to sustain on your own and not depend on family members, parents, etc. before you have kids. That's what the mindset should be anyway. But to me, if you're putting this and you're making this a bill, let's start. The school systems are missing so much already. Let's help these kids with their credit. Let's help these kids with life skills that will attribute to all of this success that they're going to have in the future. You're saying this timeline is, for success, which may be well and true, but there's also a lot of other things that can attribute to that as well.
I'm skeptical because this is Tennessee and it's the South. And that's what makes me very skeptical about what they're saying. And you're right. What happens to the life skills, those things? I mean, maybe that's going to be inclusive. Rarely it is. But, and then with our current system, it just seems interesting to me. Yeah.
It's probably something
I'm trying to figure out what, I feel like everybody's success is determined differently.
Yeah.
So, success to you or success to me or somebody else, could just be graduating high school.
Right. Literally.
That's successful. Actually getting into a college is, somebody's success story. So.
Right.
The definition of success, it changes, it's situational. So, but I also, I just have to say, I'm trying to figure out, is this bill just another way for like us to continue funding the government through college.
Right, and
You
through,
get what I'm saying?
through
Yeah.
jobs.
You
I
get
mean,
what I'm
not
saying?
just
Sure.
jobs, because we all have to work and contribute to the economy in some type of way.
Right.
But I feel like as far as going to college to work someone else's dream,
Right.
I think they realize they need to put the focus back on that, because now
Yes.
people are becoming millionaires, billionaires on their own, new businesses
Independently.
born every day.
Yep, exactly.
And that's why they're trying to like put this in the sequence, because at the end of the day,
Right.
you don't have to go to college to be successful.
Right.
To own a home.
Anymore.
To do these things. Yeah,
Exactly.
anymore.
You
It used to be you had to have that piece of paper and that
Hello.
degree, but now
Now
that people
we see 21-year-old millionaires.
listen, and it makes you look kind of like I went to college or whatever, not saying that I regret it or anything, but it's like, I worked hard, I got my degree, and I'm like, yeah, I'm supposed to be doing this X, Y, and Z, and then there's people coming straight out of school doing whatever they're doing, and they could be making more money than me, the next person, someone with a
ChatGPT
secondary
was making
degree.
doctors every day.
Hello, hello.
Doctors. Listen, it is a crazy time to be alive. But wrapping up that segment, that discussion, I do value the emphasis on marriage. I think that we definitely, as
need that.
a society, need to get back there.
The
But
people have to be worth the marriage.
Ooh, ooh,
Lord.
ooh, ooh.
Well,
We got to start with the people.
yeah, well,
Yes.
God said
Yes.
we worth it. We got to do it right, and then allow God to come back in and give us the correct order. I don't know about the state, but it just is what it is at this point. But with Tennessee and Utah, I'm like, oh my God, those are both.
I'm very
Look at them with a magnifying
Hello.
glass.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Sound like it's
Yeah.
a
Sounds
ulterior
like
motive.
a redefining,
Right.
an indoctrination of some sort.
Then they're
So-
gonna say you should have not just one wife but 7.
Ah.
But jumping to
Lord.
our next topic, comedian Damon Wayans Sr., one of my favorites, who is, a lot of people know him from Major Pain back in the day, or Living
Yes.
Color, and many other
Yes.
classics, is stirring up a little bit of family drama of his own. He recently revealed that after his divorce, he fell in love with a woman who used to date his nephew. Yep, y'all heard that right. Let's check it out.
This can't be true. That you dated the same woman as your nephew once?
Yeah. I was in love with her. That's the thing. Come on, you ain't never did.
Hell no, I ain't
You
never did
the
that.
Jackson 5.
No. For a family member, that's off limits, Damon.
No, but it wasn't like they were in love. And then I saw her and I was just like, oh my God, I'm in love. And I found out my nephew had dated. I'm like, what's up with that? He goes, oh, that's you. I was like, and I went ahead and I fell in love. Fell in love.
Yes.
Lord have mercy.
What's up with that? It's crazy to ask.
No,
your nephew.
it was Shay Shay asking him, that's family though, ain't they off limit? He said, no, and kept talking. Like, excuse me, sir? What do you mean, no?
He did say that he asked for permission first. But let's be real. Where do you draw the line when it comes to love?
No, we do not. Listen, there's a code. There's an unspoken code when it comes to family, when it comes to close friends. Like, certain things and people are off limits. Like, there's no way. I'm not dating my homegirl's person.
Right.
Even if they just dated, they never got in a relationship, they was
Don't
never
matter.
in love. I'm not touching that piece because that was your piece. My family members, I'm not touching that. I was about to say something. I don't care if you are my third cousin down the line. It's off limits. Like, nobody is that fine. Nobody is worth the drama. Like, that could come with so many things. Like,
Yes.
absolutely
Now,
not.
I
Like,
feel
it's a
how
no
you
for me.
feel.
Yeah.
However, not for me, but however, first of all, men code and women code are different. Cause like
Okay.
we can feel this way, but like he said, like some men, especially like if it wasn't that
If they
serious,
wasn't in love.
or if they weren't not even in love, if they was just
But they
messing
like to
around,
say that, and then
if
later
they
on
wasn't-
they'll be like, "Oh,
some
you
of
messed
them-
with my."
Some of them, but then some of them be like, "Oh, no, you good." Like how he asked permission, that could have been like, you know what?
So she was
That's
just
all.
passing around
what
the
his
family
nephew
because they
said.
not
His
together.
nephew said, "Don't worry about it. Is that you,
Ever.
Okay, so is it my turn now? Y'all tap me in.
Tap.
Right? Okay, so I want to say that I agree with both of you guys, but I'm also the type of person that realistically, once I realize that someone is not my person, honestly, my mama could have them. Listen, if my mama don't want them, my mama wouldn't do it. I'm just saying, if I'm not your person or you're not my person, I release you to go and be with whoever God has for you. Just because I was holding you up or you were holding me up, baby, I'm not holding you up for eternity. If you're not mine, you belong to someone. You are someone's spouse, someone's other half.
No, baby,
So,
if you're not mine, you can't be around.
That's why. Listen. That's why we're not supposed to, technically, according to the Bible, have sex before marriage, because there's stipulations that come with the marriage and after marriage. There's certain protocol, and that makes things and people off limits. But right now, what we out here doing, what we ain't supposed to be doing, anyways, baby. If we ain't gone, where you supposed to be at now?
Not with my homegirl or my family.
He fell in love. You know, that's
Raquel.
something.
And
Right?
how old is
Isn't
this
it nice to
homegirl?
be in love?
Right. And if it's your
She was
nephew,
probably young. She was probably
No, she probably
young.
wasn't though. You know why? Because their siblings, there's so many Wayans, and
Right.
they have like way older siblings. So his nephew could be his age for all we know.
Lord.
Yeah, I mean, hey.
Lord, we hope
There's a
not.
lot of them.
I don't know. It's off limits for me, y'all. I'm
Me
so
too, but
sorry.
I can see-
I can't see myself touching somebody
Yeah.
that I know you have touched or you have been with. Like, I just know.
No matter
But
the
what about the
capacity.
people that you don't know touch? And all these men and women, honey, you know they say you have
It's gonna
sex,
come out eventually.
But exactly. And he said he didn't know that his nephew dated the young lady. He said that after he
Initially.
fell for her, he found out, and then he went to his nephew for permission, and his nephew said, "Uncle, go ahead."
But at that point, you done already fell in love. So at some point, you probably gonna be like, F it anyway.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
If you done already fell in love, some
He
people.
said that
fell in
now
love.
family
That's
gatherings
crazy.
have a little bit of an awkward moment, but I'm sure they laugh it off. The Wayans is one of the funniest families in America. So we have to take a quick commercial break. Coming up right after this, we have Girlfriend's Guide and Mind, Body, and Soul. Stay tuned. You know you watching POV.
Hey family, thank you so much for tuning in. It's Tuesday and I got a question. So y'all, what is the most toxic thing that you have ever tolerated in the name of love and or loyalty? Okay, go ahead.
Back in my younger days,
Okay, younger.
I was under that ideology of being the main and not the only.
Oh, Jesus. We done been there, baby. My God.
Where I thought it was, I knew it was wrong, but it's like, oh, I'm the main, he ain't da-da-da-da. Right. And then now girls want to fight me, but you fight me and I'm the main one, so like I'm on the pedestal, right? Oh. Wrong.
Wrong.
And I knew, but it was like I was up here and they was down here.
No, baby, y'all was equal.
Right. We were,
That was
but
equal.
we weren't. But yeah, I've been broken from those shackles.
Amen.
Amen.
We talking about like high school days.
Okay,
But like,
okay.
Glory to
Okay,
God.
we have grown. Amen.
Yes.
Raquel?
Being in a relationship that I knew I shouldn't be in because, well, I made a commitment and I was serious about the commitment and making it work. But that relationship just could have, taken me out of here. And that is, that was my situation.
Well, I wish we could stay and listen to me and Tally's thoughts, but we can't. We got to get back to the show. So if y'all have any toxic things that you have tolerated in the name of love and loyalty, drop it down in our comments. We get back to the show.
Welcome back. Thank you for sticking with us. We've made it to that part of the show where we talk about all things love, life, relationships, and everything in between. Let's get into Girlfriend's Guide. So this story has unintentionally gone viral on TikTok. Kaylin Chapman shared a video from her wedding day with the caption, "Fun fact, I wore no makeup on our wedding day." Since then, this video has racked up over 34 million views. As you can expect, there's been a ton of mixed reactions in the comments, and the bride has been receiving some crazy backlash for choosing to embrace her natural beauty on her wedding day. I truly feel like this is outrageous. It ain't none of our business. Where y'all at?
Not outrageous.
This generation upsets me because it's not even just this, it's everything. At the end of the day, you do what works for
Amen.
you. Like, why are
Hallelujah.
y'all upset that she chose not to wear makeup on her wedding day because she doesn't regularly wear makeup?
Yeah.
But if like she went viral and then she wore makeup and hated it and it looks crazy, now y'all mad. I read one of the comments and it was like, you wear makeup, y'all mad. You don't wear makeup, y'all mad. Like, just
Well, what I
let people
learned-
do their thing.
Do what you want to do. People
Literally.
don't talk about you anyway.
Hello, they talk about Jesus.
They nailed him to the cross.
Hello.
So, so just do you. It surprises me, and I feel the same way you do, that why is that such a thing for people to chime in on? Like, why did you need to chime in to say something negative is what the real problem is. She didn't want to wear makeup. She chose not to. She wore her natural face. What's the problem? I honestly don't get why that was necessary for people to chime in negatively about it.
Where you at, Junior? What's up, makeup guru?
I know she about to.
No, I am not a makeup
Tell
guru.
us.
I don't see the issue with her wearing, her natural face, but, in all actuality, like, women normally, like, for special occasions, a wedding day is a special occasion. So you would think that, naturally a bride, would want to get her makeup done. I don't think I've ever seen a bride go to her wedding before this moment with no makeup on at all. Now she's a gorgeous girl, but for me, like, I'm gonna wear makeup on my wedding.
Me too, girl.
Okay,
Me too.
but I'm not judging her for not wearing it.
Right.
It kind of just makes me think, like, did your man request this? How some men be like, oh, you don't need all of that, and maybe she did it for him. Like, where did that come from?
But I think there's also a difference, like, even just us on the show, like, whether you wear makeup because you like it or you wear makeup because you have to,
Yeah.
it's different with someone who doesn't wear makeup at all. Like, you
She
have
don't wear
some
makeup
girls,
at all.
No,
yeah, she said she
that's-
almost kind of couldn't do it, like, wear makeup when she was younger and she never really got into it. And there are a lot of women like that. So why do you have to push to that side too? Like, maybe you're not comfortable in it because you don't know how to do it. You don't know what goes into it, how, like, you know what I'm saying? How you gonna pick a makeup artist and you don't know the first thing about makeup?
This is like, what difference does it make?
Exactly.
This seems very superficial and
Very.
ridiculous that 35 million people chimed in on this. I just find it ridiculous.
I'm telling you, baby, it speaks to the times that we're living
Yeah.
in. But after the 34 million views, she finally had something to say. So let's see what this bride had to say.
I grew up at a church that you weren't really allowed to wear makeup. I didn't want to spend that money and possibly not like the makeup and not like how I looked on my wedding day. So after doing my research and like really thinking about it, I decided I was just gonna go natural, what I was used to, what my husband's used to seeing me like, and essentially everyone else at the wedding.
I think she looks absolutely beautiful
so, too.
in the car. I'm sure at the wedding, because she went with the same face. I would imagine that you would hate, and I hear it from so many brides when they're going back looking at their wedding pictures and they cannot even recognize themselves. Imagine showing it to your grandchildren. They're talking about, who is that? Okay?
That's some
Who
different
that
kind of
woman?
makeup.
Okay? and that makeup is what people are getting all the time.
Yes.
After they're doing the bride makeup trial and all these things that just doesn't pan out. So I support her
Yes.
her decision 100%, even though it ain't for me to support. This whole social media, people weighing in on other people's lives, I'm sick of it.
Crazy.
Pick up the Bible, read the
Yeah,
good
weigh
book.
in on
I
that.
mean, come on now.
Keep your opinions
Jesus.
to yourself, Lord.
But
Please.
you also invite people. We know how the internet works, and we know how
did say
social
that.
media works. So
Yes.
when you post something publicly, you invite people's opinions in, whether
Yeah.
you want them or not.
right.
You're inviting them into your life.
That's right.
Yeah, but I wish the algorithm would post the content that people are trying to make when they're trying to push their business. Instead, you got to jump through hoops to figure out how you gonna get a new client.
Yeah, but
then you post you post
stuff,
something so dumb that nobody really cares about, and then they're pushing it. It's not just the views on it; they're pushing it.
They're pushing it.
Yeah, come on now. She only had 160 followers on TikTok, Lord.
Right. And then said she got like reposted by like a news outlet and something. She was like, I have no idea why this even went viral. Like it was something she
This
did.
is the news outlet.
Right. Well, us
POV.
too, but another one. But you know, like that's the thing. Like
Algorithms,
it's just too
where's our viral?
much. Right.
Yeah, algorithms. Where's our viral?
Listen,
Speak to the algorithms.
listen, I am. Maybe that's what we need to say. Maybe we need to drop the word in there every now and then. Algorithm, Beyonce, viral.
What to do for you, page?
This is so crazy. Listen, it's out of control. I know so many people wish that they had the confidence to go without any makeup any day.
I did it Friday.
She did do it.
I see you did it, baby. You did a great job. You didn't have to put shades on, but you did a good
I had to
job.
disguise it somehow. Denise
You didn't need a
came up here and
disguise.
hit me in my face.
No, but that skin was skinny. I wasn't here Friday, but I was watching y'all, baby. And I said, all right, Junior. Now I'm speaking to our producer on this one, so maybe the algorithm will pick it up, baby. When I come here with no makeup on, I don't want to hear it. Maybe it's going to be what gets us our 34 million views.
Gotta go viral.
A day with no makeup.
Okay.
But ironically, Dove, Neutrogena, and so many other brands are reaching out to her, and they want to drop a skincare routine, baby. So you know what? If
Look
that
at
be
that.
for you,
It's
if that be
that's
for
the
you,
thing.
right?
The thing is, some women they was in them comments because they was mad because they can't go without makeup.
exactly.
Because so many people wear so much makeup, baby, your skin is terrible, and I hate that for you.
Shoot, they wear
So
so much
let's
like
invest
somebody
and let's
else.
do some days
Exactly.
where we don't have makeup, so you can. So people be like, wow, you have nice skin.
Yeah.
Hello.
My God, listen, honey, she better tell them cut the shit in my Justin Hernandez voice, okay? But let's get into our final segment of the day, mind, body, and soul. Have you guys ever been called mature for your age? It actually turns out that that label might not be as harmless as it sounds. Some experts believe that it's actually an indication that a child was taking in adult responsibilities way too early. Now, that pressure to always act grown can carry over into adulthood, affecting how we set boundaries and navigate relationships. So have any of you ever been told at a young age that you were mature for your age?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, not anymore. No one says that
I'm
now.
done.
I'm not going to be mature for my age at all. I made the choice, darling.
And just so you childish, huh?
Right, just childish, darling. I won't adult unless I need to.
That is so funny.
done.
I used to always be told that I was mature for my age, and I used to say that I was mature for my age. And I thought that I was as well. And sometimes now I still think I do, I guess, if I'm thinking about it. Because
Yeah.
I'm 37 now, and I like to feel like I'm at least 59. But I mean, literally, I'm just telling y'all.
It's crazy.
Listen, I'm so serious.
59 is
What's in that
crazy.
cup?
Listen, no, but it's funny though, because I sometimes I believe that, you know, they have all of these ideas and connotations as to why, you know, people are told that they're mature. But I also believe that it could come into play that sometimes you just kind of have an old soul. And they say God ain't up there recycling, you know, and he didn't give you somebody else's soul. But I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of old. But one way that they say that, you know, you can tell or that you're affected if someone has an old soul, it comes in the form of people pleasing. And it says that these children often develop people pleasing tendencies and may struggle with boundaries or asking for help as adults.
Interesting.
I know I grew up in entertainment. That was the business I grew up in. And I think you can, well, first of all, you're in an adult world working professionally. And I think you may have those instances where you do feel like people pleasing because the point is for you to be good. The point is for when you go to auditions to be good. When you're on TV to be good. So you're constantly, I think, in that mind frame to people please. So I think they have a point in that instance.
Okay, that's an interesting perspective. Another way that, you know, this study is saying that kids can be affected is by their mental health. And it says that, you know, it makes them carry this label into childhood that could lead to anxiety, difficulty trusting others, and unresolved childhood needs. Now, I guess, part of what they're saying is that, because these children that are told they're mature are taking on the role of their parent so that they don't have the time to be a child. And so now the trickle-down effect of that is anxiety and depression and all of these things. I mean, but I think
I can see that.
I can see it too, especially sometimes in black households because and Spanish culture, all of those different things. If you ain't white, I think everybody black anyways. But
I would say also like in New York, like when I was there with even little kids in the cast, they would be getting themselves from home to the rehearsals, on the train, and back home. So they were growing up pretty fun. I was like, whoa, like I couldn't do that. And I was like 16, but they were doing it. I was like, this is crazy in New York.
And I had a friend like in high school who literally was like, sometimes she couldn't hang out with us because she was, like doing stuff for her little sister, like, helping her with homework, cooking for her, like doing all this stuff. Like kind of as that second parent, like while her mom was doing whatever, like a lot of times the parents at work are doing, they're just not able to be there. And that takes up a lot of time and they're losing out of like a whole bunch of childhood stuff.
Even though the children should be in the house anyway, because where they going to go, especially in these days. But that's a wrap for today's show. Before we go, here's another quote of the day. Y'all know we like to leave y'all with a quote of the day. And today is, I'd rather regret the risk that I didn't work out than the chances that I didn't take. That's from Simone Biles. That's kind of, I think, from Marilyn Monroe a little bit. She put a little spin on